There are places in this world that exist between reality and myth. Places that defy the laws of nature and challenge everything we think we know about time and space. Dr. Elena Vasquez had spent 15 years chasing legends. But this one was different. This one had witnesses. She sat hunched over a massive leather-bound tome in an ancient monastery library. Her fingers traced strange symbols carved into yellowed pages. When the 100th year completes its cycle, and the constellation of the serpent aligns with the sacred peak, the city of echoes shall walk between worlds once more. Elena pulled out a worn photograph from her jacket pocket. It showed her with her father, Professor Marcus Vasquez, both smiling at an archaeological dig site 15 years ago. She remembered his words clearly. "Elena, listen to me carefully. What we've found here, it's just the beginning. The City of Echoes isn't just a legend. I've found 3 separate accounts from 3 different centuries, all describing the same phenomenon. But Dad, you're talking about a city that appears and disappears. That's impossible, is it? Quantum mechanics tells us particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously. Who's to say an entire city couldn't exist in a temporal flux, manifesting only when certain cosmic conditions align? Promise me something. If anything happens to me, you'll continue this work. The next appearance is in 2024. Promise me you'll be there." Elena had made that promise, and now, 15 years later, she was about to keep it. The calculations are perfect. The alignment happens in exactly 3 weeks. October 31st, just after midnight. Father Jose, the elderly priest who had witnessed her father's disappearance, entered the library carrying coffee. "The same night your father disappeared." "He didn't disappear, Father. He found it. He found the city, and he went inside. I know it, which means he's still there, trapped in whatever temporal loop the city exists in. If I can find it when it appears again, I can bring him home." Elena spread out papers across the table. Maps, astronomical charts, historical documents spanning 4 centuries. 1624. Spanish conquistador Diego Alvarez describes finding a city of impossible architecture that vanished with the dawn. 1724. Jesuit missionary Pedro Gomez writes of streets that existed in twilight, buildings that defied geometry. 1824. British explorer Catherine Blackwood sketches ruins that her guides swore appeared overnight. 1924. Father Miguel documented strange lights and reported seeing structures through the mist. And now, 2024. The cycle is perfect, every 100 years, without fail. But there was something else. Each account mentioned people who entered the city and never returned. 12 in 1624, 7 in 1724, 19 in 1824, and in 1924, 43 souls vanished. What if they're all still there? What if time works differently inside the city? What if my father has only experienced a few days, while 15 years have passed out here? A sudden gust of wind scattered papers across the library. One landed at Elena's feet. She picked it up, her blood running cold. The ink looked fresh, impossible. To those who seek us, we are between moments, caught in the breath between ticks of the cosmic clock. The city remembers all who enter. Come prepared to sacrifice time itself. That page wasn't there before. I know this book. Then it's starting. The city is reaching out across time. It knows we're coming. Elena assembled her team. Dr. James Chen, a quantum physicist from MIT, who believed he could build a device to keep them anchored to their timeline. Maria Santos, her old climbing partner who knew the mountains better than anyone. And Father Jose, the only living witness to what happened that night. In Boston, James worked frantically in his chaotic office, surrounded by equations and half-built devices. Elena, what you're describing is theoretically possible but practically insane. A macroscopic object, an entire city, existing in quantum superposition. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical. James, I'm not asking for a theory. I'm asking, can you build something to keep us tethered to our timeline if we go inside? There was a long pause on the line. You're serious? You're actually going to try to enter this thing in 3 weeks, with or without your help, but I'd really prefer with. James looked at a photo on his desk of him and Elena from years ago, both younger, both believing science could explain everything. You know what happened to the last person who tried this. That's exactly why I have to go. Another pause, then James began scribbling equations frantically on his whiteboard. I'd need to build a quantum entanglement device, something that maintains a link to a fixed point in space-time. Theoretically, it would work like an anchor, preventing temporal drift. But I've never built anything like this. No one has. Can you do it in 3 weeks? No. Absolutely not. It's impossible. But if I skip the safety protocols, use off-the-shelf components, and pray to whatever gods watch over insane scientists, maybe I can have something functional. I'll take maybe. I'm booking you a flight to Lima tomorrow. Meanwhile, high in the Peruvian mountains, Maria Santos scaled a sheer rock face and pulled herself into a hidden cave. Her headlamp illuminated ancient paintings on the walls, images of a city floating in clouds, people entering doorways of light. Her phone rang. Elena, tell me you found something. October 31st, midnight, the eastern plateau near the Three Stones. Maria's light moved slowly across one particular painting. 3 standing stones with a city appearing above them, and stick figures reaching upward. The Cave of Prophecies. My grandmother brought me here when I was 7. She told me that one day I would guide someone into the city between worlds. This is dangerous, Maria. More dangerous than anything we've done. I was born for this, Elena. My family has been waiting for this for generations. We are the guardians, the path to the plateau, the way through the mists, the songs that calm the spirits of the mountain. This is my purpose. 1 week later, the team gathered in Lima. James emerged from the airport pushing a cart loaded with equipment cases. I haven't slept in 4 days. I had to explain to customs why I'm bringing experimental quantum devices into Peru. And I'm pretty sure I'm on a watch list now. Elena embraced him. You made it. That's what matters. A horn honked. Maria pulled up in a battered truck. We leave in 1 hour. Final supply run, then we start the ascent. Weather window closes in 6 days. They loaded the equipment and drove toward the mountains, leaving civilization behind. Elena looked back one last time, wondering if she would ever return. The journey had begun. In 3 weeks, the City of Echoes would appear, and Elena would finally learn the truth about what happened to her father. 3 days into their ascent, the team reached 14,000 feet. Snow began to fall as they huddled in their base camp, preparing for the final push to the plateau. Inside the equipment tent, James worked on his quantum anchor device. It looked like a backpack with crystalline structures and glowing indicators. This is the quantum anchor. It maintains entanglement with a fixed point in spacetime. Specifically this tent, this exact location, at this exact time. If the city really does exist in a temporal anomaly, this should prevent us from drifting too far from our original timeline. He held up 3 smaller devices, wristbands with similar technology. Everyone wears one. They're synced to the main anchor and to each other. If we get separated, they'll help us find each other. And theoretically, they'll let us know if time is moving differently around us. Theoretically, Elena. I'm building reality-defying technology in a tent at 14,000 feet. I'm honestly surprised it powers on. Maria entered with troubling news. The local guides are refusing to go further. They say the spirits are restless. 3 times last night, their equipment malfunctioned. Compasses spinning, GPS failing, satellite phones dead. Father Jose nodded grimly. It's beginning. The same thing happened 15 years ago, 3 days before the manifestation. Technology starts to fail as the boundaries between worlds grow thin. Elena checked her devices. The plateau is 6 hours from here. We need to reach it by tonight to set up instruments and prepare for tomorrow night's appearance. What about backup? Shouldn't we have a rescue team on standby? Maria shook her head. No one will come within 5 miles of the plateau tomorrow night. The mountain tribes have strict taboos. On the night of echoes, the plateau belongs to the city alone. There's wisdom in those taboos. In 1924, Father Miguel wrote that rescue parties sent after the vanished never returned either. The city's influence extends beyond its physical boundaries. Then we go alone. Just the 4 of us. Elena spread out a topographical map marked with her father's notes. Dad mapped the plateau extensively. There are 3 standing stones arranged in a triangle, each one carved with symbols that match astronomical alignments. According to his calculations, the city manifests at the exact center of that triangle. James studied the map carefully. What are these markings here, these circular patterns? Father Jose leaned closer. Those weren't on the map 15 years ago. They appeared last week. Satellite imagery shows geological changes that shouldn't be possible. The land is rearranging itself, preparing for the city's arrival. The mountain is remembering. That's what my grandmother called it. The earth holds memory of what will be, just as it remembers what was. You realize how insane this sounds, right? We're planning to enter a hypothetical city that may or may not exist, based on folklore and century-old accounts, with equipment I built in a week. Elena met his eyes steadily. You don't have to come, James, any of you. This is my obsession, my father. I won't blame anyone who walks away. Silence filled the tent. Then Father Jose stood. I made a promise to your father. I won't break it again. Maria shouldered her pack. My family has waited 9 generations for this. I go. James sighed. Well, someone needs to make sure the quantum anchor doesn't explode. And I've never been good at missing history in the making. Thank you. All of you. That afternoon, they climbed through increasingly strange terrain. The rock formations seemed almost architectural, too precise to be natural erosion. Maria pointed ahead. You see how the stones are arranged? This was a road once, ancient, before the Inca, before even the cultures we have names for. A road to the city. This entire mountain is aligned to serve as a path. Every 100 years, this path becomes active again. They rounded a bend and stopped abruptly. Before them, carved into the mountainside, was a massive doorway, empty, leading nowhere but covered in symbols. This is new. This wasn't in any of Dad's photographs. James scanned it with his device. I'm getting readings that don't make sense. The stone is old, carbon dating would put it at thousands of years. But the erosion patterns suggest it was carved recently, within the last week. Father Jose touched the symbols reverently. The gateway of hours, that's what these glyphs say. This marks the boundary between normal time and something else. We must make an offering before passing through. The old ways demand respect. Maria knelt and produced a small woven pouch from her pack. Inside were coca leaves, stones, and other ritual items. She arranged them carefully at the base of the gateway, speaking an ancient prayer in Quechua. Pachamama, Mother Earth, we ask permission to walk between worlds. Apis, mountain spirits, guide our steps. We come seeking the lost, not to disturb, but to restore. As she spoke, the air around the gateway shimmered. James's devices emitted a soft chiming. Did you see that? The quantum field just shifted. Something responded to her ritual. Maybe science and faith aren't so far apart after all. They passed through the gateway. On the other side, everything felt different. The air was thicker, sounds were muted, and the light had an odd quality, as if filtered through water. We're not entirely in our world anymore. At dusk, they reached the plateau. It was exactly as described. A flat expanse of stone, perfectly circular, with 3 massive standing stones forming a triangle. Each stone was at least 20 feet tall, covered in carvings that seemed to move in the fading light. He was right. Dad was right about everything. Elena ran to the nearest stone, touching symbols that matched her father's drawings exactly. James immediately began setting up equipment, working frantically. We have less than 4 hours until midnight. I need to calibrate everything, run diagnostics, and pray my math was correct. Maria grabbed Elena's arm. Look. She pointed to the ground. There, carved into the stone of the plateau, were names. Hundreds of them, in different scripts, from different eras. All the people who had entered the city. Elena knelt and found one name, touching it gently. Marcus Vasquez. 2009. Dad, I'm here. I kept my promise, and I'll help you keep it. We'll bring him home, Elena. As darkness fell, James's equipment began to hum. The stones started to glow faintly from within, as if lit by internal fire. It's starting already. The quantum field is becoming unstable. Reality is becoming flexible. Maria looked at the sky. The stars are wrong, see? That constellation wasn't there a moment ago, and that one has disappeared entirely. We're moving between moments, just as the city does. Everyone, put on your quantum anchors. Stay close. Whatever happens, we face it together. They strapped on the wristband devices. The main anchor in the center of the triangle pulsed with soft blue light. According to your father's calculations, the manifestation should begin at 11:47 p.m. and reach full materialization at midnight. James checked his watch, then stared at it in disbelief. The numbers were running backward. Okay, that's not good. Time is already becoming non-linear. How long do we have? I have no idea. Minutes? Hours? These readings are impossible. The wind picked up, far colder than natural. It seemed to carry whispers, voices speaking in languages both ancient and unknown. The spirits are gathering. They want to witness, they always do. The ground beneath them began to vibrate. A low hum built, felt in the bones rather than heard. The 3 standing stones started to resonate, each at a slightly different frequency, creating a harmonic that made the air visible, rippling like water. The stones are acting as tuning forks. They're creating a resonance pattern that aligns with… Oh my God, they're opening a doorway in space-time itself. What do you mean? The city doesn't move through space. It never left. It's always here, just shifted into a different temporal frequency. The stones are bringing us into phase with it. The stars above began to spiral. The constellation Maria had noted was now clearly visible. The serpent, just as the ancient texts described. Its alignment with the sacred peak was perfect. There! Look! At first it was just a shimmer in the air at the center of the triangle. Then the shimmer became more substantial. Edges, corners, the suggestion of architecture. Buildings that shouldn't be possible, towers that defied gravity, streets that existed at impossible angles. The city of echoes. It's beautiful, and it was. Beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. The city glowed with its own light, golden and silver mixed together. The architecture was like nothing from Earth. Organic curves meeting geometric precision, towers that spiraled upward in defiance of physics, bridges spanning emptiness, walls that seemed transparent one moment and solid the next. I've seen this before, in dreams, since I was a child. The quantum anchor is holding. We're maintaining our connection to our timeline. But the city is almost fully materialized. If we're going in, it has to be now. Then we go. Stay together. Stay connected. Find my father and get out before the cycle completes. When does the cycle complete? According to the pattern, the city remains fully materialized for exactly 100 minutes. Then it fades back out of phase with our reality. 100 minutes to search an entire city. Then we'd better move fast. The city was now fully present, solid and real. A grand entrance opened before them, massive doors of a material that looked like crystal but moved like liquid, constantly shifting and reforming. For Dad, for everyone who never came back. Let's go. Elena took the first step forward. The others followed. As they crossed the threshold into the city of echoes, the doors shimmered behind them. The world they knew faded to a memory. Inside the city, time moved differently. They could feel it. Each heartbeat seemed both too fast and too slow. Each breath took an eternity and an instant. The streets were empty, but not abandoned. It felt as if the city was waiting, watching, remembering. Stay close to the anchor's range. If we drift too far from the main unit back on the plateau, we could become temporarily unmoored. Which way? The streets before them branched in multiple directions, each leading to wonders and impossibilities. Towers that reached into a sky that wasn't quite the right color. Fountains flowing with liquid that moved upward. Gardens filled with plants that exist in multiple states of growth simultaneously. Seed, sprout, flower, and seed again, all at once. Footprints, recent ones. They looked down. In the dust of the impossible street were human footprints leading deeper into the city. "Dad!" Elena called out, but the city swallowed her voice, transformed it, sent it back as an echo from 1,000 directions. Dad, Father, Padre, Pater, the city of echoes. It remembers every sound ever made within its boundaries. I'm picking up life signs ahead, multiple sources. The missing people, they might all be here. Elena started to run, but Maria grabbed her. Wait! Look! Ahead, a figure emerged from the shadows, but it wasn't Marcus Vasquez. It was someone else wearing clothes from a different era, looking confused and lost. What year is it? I've been walking for hours, days, I can't remember. I came with the conquistadors. We sought gold. We found this. That was 400 years ago. The man laughed without humor. 400? No, I just arrived. We just found the city. The others are right behind me. Any moment now. He looked behind him, waiting. No one came. The reality crashed over him. Mother of God, 400 years? Time is relative here. To him he just arrived. But in our frame of reference, he's been here for centuries. Have you seen others? Recent arrivals? An American man? Archaeologist? 15 years ago? The conquistador pointed deeper into the city. The Plaza of Reflections. They gather there. All who enter eventually find their way there. It's where the city speaks most clearly. Elena started forward, but the stranger grabbed her wrist urgently. Don't eat anything. Don't drink anything. Don't make deals with the city. It will offer you wonders, show you miracles, promise you everything. But it takes in return. It always takes. Takes what? The conquistador released her hand and faded back into the shadows. Whatever you value most. The team moved deeper into the impossible city, past wonders that defied comprehension. They saw others. Shadows of people from different eras, all wandering, all lost in their own perception of time. Finally, they emerged into a vast plaza. At its center was a fountain, but instead of water, it flowed with liquid light. Around the fountain sat dozens of people from different time periods, and there, sitting on the edge of the fountain, looking exactly as he did 15 years ago, was Marcus Vasquez. Dad? Marcus looked up. His eyes widened in recognition, but he didn't seem surprised. He smiled, the same warm smile from Elena's childhood. Elena, you kept your promise. I knew you would. Elena ran to him, embracing him tightly. Dad, I've been looking for you for 15 years. Marcus pulled back, confused. 15? But I just arrived. This morning, I came through with Father Jose. We were setting up equipment, and then... He stopped, seeing Father Jose, seeing how much older he looked. How long have I been here? Father Jose stepped forward, his voice heavy with emotion. 15 years, old friend. For you it might have been hours, but for us, 15 years. Marcus staggered, sitting back down heavily on the fountain's edge. The city, it's more than I imagined, more beautiful, more terrible. Time here, it's not linear. It's like a pool, all moments existing together, swirling around each other. Dad, we have to leave. The city will fade back out of phase in less than an hour. If we don't go now... Marcus gripped her hands. Elena, listen to me. I've learned so much. The city isn't just a temporal anomaly. It's a message. A warning. Someone built this place. Someone with technology far beyond ours. They knew something was coming. Something that required them to hide moments of time itself, preserving them for when they'd be needed again. James approached. Professor Vasquez, I'm James Chen. I'm a quantum physicist. What you're describing sounds like a temporal archive. Marcus's eyes lit up with excitement. Yes, exactly! But more than that. The city contains knowledge, technologies, warnings about the future. It appears every 100 years to give humanity another chance to find it, to learn from it. Dad, we can study it later. Right now we need to leave before... No, you don't understand. I can't leave. The words hung in the air like ice. What? Marcus stood, pacing. I tried, Elena, that first day, or what I experienced as a day. I walked back to the entrance, tried to leave, but every path leads deeper into the city. It's not a prison, exactly. It's more like a riptide. Once you're in, the current of time itself makes it almost impossible to swim back. But the quantum anchor should prevent that. It's maintaining our connection to our original timeline. Marcus examined James's device, his expression growing excited. You brought an anchor? This is brilliant. This could work. With this, we all might be able to leave. But we need to move quickly. The city is aware of us now. It knows we're trying to escape its pull. Maria looked around nervously. The shadows are moving. Things that weren't there before. The plaza was changing. The fountains of light flowed faster. The buildings around them seemed to lean in as if listening. In the corners, darkness gathered. Marcus's voice became urgent. The city doesn't want to let us go. Not because it's malevolent, but because we're part of its pattern now. Every person who enters becomes woven into its temporal fabric. Leaving means tearing that fabric. Then how do we get out? We run, fast, follow the quantum anchor's signal back to the entrance. And whatever happens, don't look back. Don't listen to what the city offers you. It will show you your heart's desire, but accepting it means staying forever. Other people around the plaza began to stand, watching them. Some looked curious, others desperate. An elderly woman in Victorian dress approached. Are you leaving? Is it possible? I've been here so long. Please take me with you. Marcus shook his head sadly. I'm sorry. Only those connected to the anchor can follow its thread back. The rest are trapped here forever. Not trapped. Preserved. But yes, unable to leave. James checked his device frantically. We have 47 minutes before the city begins to fade. If we're still inside when that happens, without the anchor, we become part of the city permanently. I know. I've seen it happen to others who arrived after me. Elena gripped her father's hand. Then let's go. Now. They started running, following the quantum anchor's pull back toward the entrance. The city seemed to resist, streets shifting, new paths appearing, old paths vanishing. This way. No! The signal's coming from over here now! The city is trying to confuse us, splitting the signal. Everyone, hold on to each other! Form a chain! Don't let go! They linked hands, Marcus with Elena, Elena with Father Jose with Maria, Maria with James. Together they pushed forward through the shifting unreality. The city began to whisper, voices from the walls, from the light, from the very air. Elena, stay with your father. You've found him. Isn't that what you wanted? Why leave now? Don't listen. Think of what you could learn here, James. Technologies beyond imagination. Maria, your ancestors walked these streets. This is your heritage, your destiny. It's lying. Push forward. The entrance appeared ahead, the crystal doors still open, but beginning to shimmer and fade. It's closing! Run! They sprinted, still holding hands, racing against impossible time. Behind them, the city's whispers became screams, pleading, demanding, threatening. The doors were 10 feet away. 5 feet. Marcus stumbled. I can't. The pull is too strong. Elena grabbed him with both hands. I didn't come this far to lose you again. With a final, desperate surge, they dove through the entrance together. The crystal doors slammed shut behind them with a sound like breaking reality. They tumbled onto the stone plateau, gasping, clutching each other. Above them, the city flickered, becoming transparent, fading back out of phase with their world. The quantum anchor pulsed one final time, then went dark. James checked it desperately. Did we make it? Are we back? Father Jose looked at his watch. It was working again, showing normal time. We're back. It's 1:27 a.m., October 31st, 2024. We did it. We actually did it. Elena held her father tightly, tears streaming down her face. He held her back, both of them shaking with relief and exhaustion. Above them, the city of echoes completed its fade, disappearing from view. But as it vanished, something remained. Carved into the standing stones, new symbols glowed briefly before fading, a message, a warning, a promise. We'll return in 2124. Marcus sat up, looking at where the city had been. We have 100 years to prepare, to study what I learned, to get ready for the next appearance. Because, Elena, this is important. The city showed me something, a reason it exists, a purpose. What did you see, Dad? He looked at his daughter, at his old friend Father Jose, at the 2 brave souls who had helped rescue him. The future, or a possible future. Something is coming, something that will require all of humanity to work together. The city is a gift, left by whoever came before us, a time capsule of knowledge meant to prepare us for what lies ahead. James stood, looking at his ruined equipment. Then we have work to do. 100 years sounds like a long time, but if what you're saying is true, it's not nearly enough. The sun began to rise over the Peruvian highlands, casting golden light across the plateau. The three standing stones stood silent, keeping their secrets. But now, 4 people knew the truth. The City of Echoes was real. It would return, and when it did, humanity needed to be ready. As they packed their equipment and prepared for the long journey back to civilization, Elena looked back one last time at the plateau. Goodbye for now. We'll be ready next time. A shimmer in the air, barely visible in the dawn light, seemed to pulse once in response. Then it was gone. The legend of the lost city that appears every 100 years was no longer just a story. It was a promise, a warning, and a gift waiting to be claimed by those brave enough to enter when the time came again. 100 years from now, the cycle would repeat. The city would return. And somewhere, someone would be watching, waiting, preparing to step between worlds once more. Until then, the City of Echoes would sleep, dreaming in the spaces between moments, holding its secrets close, counting down the years until it could speak again. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more incredible adventures and mysteries. Thank you for watching. Answers to questions your world hasn't even thought to ask yet. Keep moving.